Good morning, everyone. Today is Tuesday, October 22nd, Tuesday of the 29th week in Ordinary Time, and the memorial of St. John Paul II. Our gospel today comes from Luke 12:35-38. Jesus said to his disciples, "Gird your loins and light your lamps, and be like servants who await their master's return from a wedding, ready to open immediately when he comes and knocks. Blessed are those servants whom the master finds vigilant on his arrival. Amen, I say to you, he will gird himself, have them recline at table, and proceed to wait on them. And should he come in the second or third watch and find them prepared in this way, blessed are those servants." The Gospel of the Lord. Simply put, Jesus' words to us today apply to one of two outcomes. Either Jesus is coming to us, or we are going to him. We should thus be vigilant about both. For as one author writes, "No man can tell the day or the hour when eternity will invade time and summons will come." Eternity will invade time when the Eternal One comes again in the second coming. It is a revealed truth of faith that Jesus will return. We profess it every time we recite the Creed, and at every Mass after the priest proclaims the mystery of faith when we respond, "Christ has died, Christ is risen, Christ will come again." But eternity also invades time, so to speak, when our time on earth runs out, and the Lord calls us home to him. Death is also an indisputable fact of life for each and every one of us. The best way to find peace in the midst of these seemingly daunting realities, Jesus' second coming and our own death, is to live every moment prepared for either one or the other. In other words, to allow eternity to enter our lives each and every day. We can do this in very practical ways, as the Lord himself indicates by using very practical and concrete examples in today's gospel. Gird your loins and light your lamps. First, we are told to gird our loins. What does this mean? It means to effectively work each day to do something for our salvation. Whereas men's clothing sadly seems to be getting tighter and tighter in our present day, in Jesus' day, men wore long flowing tunics. Due to its bagginess, tunics offer a certain freedom of movement, but when it's time to get to work, they can also, for the same reason, become an obstacle. Thus, in order for a man to work more efficiently in the field, or in the shop, or on the boat, he would need to gird, that is, gather all the extra fabric of his robes under his girdle or belt. A man with girdled robes is always ready to work. The Christian man or woman should also be someone ready to work. In saying this, I don't necessarily mean physical activity, but rather ready to work out one's salvation. In fact, every moment of our day should be oriented towards this end. Jesus not only counsels us to gird our loins, but to also light our lamps. We will remember that in Jesus' day there was no electricity. Besides the sun, the main source of light were oil-fed lamps. Oil lamps required a floating wick. If the wick was too short, there would be nothing to burn for the flame. But also if the wick was too long, it would sag in the oil and easily drown out the flame by its excessive moisture. Thus, one always had to be attentive to the wick after lighting it. It's not like in our day and age where we can just flip on the light switch and go about our business nonchalantly. Rather, what Jesus means by lighting our lamps is to light them and pay attention to them. That is, receive faith and grace as a welcome gift from God, but also be vigilant over it. Faith and grace grows in the measure that we are attentive to it, defend it, and proactively cooperate with God to allow its increase. Heaven forbid that death, or Jesus' second coming, catch us off guard, whereby we are waiting for tomorrow to increase our faith, our hope, and our charity. These are tasks not for tomorrow, but for today. Behold, now is the favorable time. Now is the day of salvation, St. Paul tells us. Each day we must do what is necessary to be converted back to God, to turn to him, and to draw our life from him. St. Augustine was known to say that a man who believes in eternity and yet is not converted to God has either lost his senses or his faith. St. John Paul II, whom we celebrate today, was neither a man who lost his senses nor his faith. He was instead a man who not only believed in eternity, but staked his life on it. And because St. John Paul II lived each day in the light of eternity and salvation, he was always ready for the Lord's summons. Although that summons seemed to be knocking at the door of his life on May 13, 1981, it would not be a definitive one until April of 2005. His final words reveal his readiness for his departure into eternity. Let me go to the Father's house. May we always be ready to go to the Father's house. Doing so means welcoming the Father's will in every circumstance and seeking it at every moment. May God bless you.